Let's go to CommSec, Tom Piotrowski. He knows full well those three pop stars, don't you, Tom?
It's important to be across your cultural reference points, Pete. Yes.
I can see you at the Beyonce Renaissance tour, by the way. Shall we go together when she eventually comes to Australia?
Pete, I'd be delighted to be your plus one.
My wife might have something to say about that. But anyway,
I'm sure.
We'll see how the market's looking today, Thomas.
Not too bad. We've got the futures indicating it will be up by about 1/3%. So we had a bit of a thin session last day in terms of the gains, only up by around 0.1%. But there is plenty to be encouraged by, I suppose, Pete, when you look at what's happened on Wall Street last night. We've got the Nasdaq up by 1.1%. Earlier stories in the bulletin highlighted that brouhaha that's going on in the AI space. So, you know, you've seen the founders of OpenAI ousted, and there's an interesting sub-story to that. There are a whole bunch of employees at that organisation that are threatening resignation if the board isn't sacked and the two founders aren't reinstated. Anyway, the other two haven't spent that much that much time in the dole queue. They've been employed by Microsoft, and that's one of the big stories of the night. That the Sam Altman and Greg Brockman have been taken on by Microsoft. They're going to be leading the AI charge for that organisation, and Microsoft shares are up by about 2.2%, hitting a record high in the process. So that was good news for that organisation. Boeing up by 4%. They have been getting a bit of a tailwind, as it were, in relation to orders being placed most recently. So Boeing shares up 4%. Elsewhere, the S&P 500 is up by around 0.75%. The Dow up by about 0.6%. Futures, as I said, pointing to a gain today. We've got the minutes of the last RBA meeting being handed down, and worth keeping an eye on energy stocks because we've seen another bump higher as far as commodity prices in general have been concerned, but oil up by about 3%, having risen by about 4% in the previous session, in part driven by threats on the part of OPEC and allied producers to continue pulling back on supply.
Yeah, hey, that Altman story is a beauty, Tom, you're right. You know they call him the Oppenheimer of the tech world?
Well, he's probably going to have a tax problem, I suppose, at some stage as well. Probably already does. So,
okay. Well, that bit wasn't in Brent O'Halloran's piece, but we'll run it for you again next hour, folks. It's a good one. Tom Piotrowski, thank you.